Alright, welcome to my updated budget guide for building keyboards. Most of this information I am providing is mainly due to my knowledge from 2022. So aside from this video, I will actually be doing another one at the end of the year for 2023. I'll try to make it annually at the end of every year so that it makes more sense for everyone who wants to be updated to the information at the end of the year. Okay, so let us start off with the low tier budget keyboard kits. These keyboards in the low tier are mainly from China and you can get them from AliExpress. It might be a little harder for those in the US to get their hands on this keyboard, but for those of you who live in the Asia region, it's much easier. The kits are mainly made from plastic, hot swappable, north-facing sockets, so they are really the basic stuff that you would need. That also basically means the moment you buy your kit and receive your kit, you can put in your switches and start building instantly. No soldering or building is required for the kits I will recommend. For our first board, it is the cheapest hot swappable board out there, the CIY Tester 68. For $22 US, I would mainly recommend this for those who want to experiment building their very first keyboard. The only flaw I can think about for a beginner is that it doesn't provide wired connection. It uses a 2.4 GHz receiver, so you have to replace the batteries once in a while. As for delay, there's no delay, so if you're gaming with the board, you have nothing to worry about. Everything you need is in the kit. You literally just have to throw on switches and you're done. As for our next board, it is also by CIY. It is called the CIY Gas 67. For $30, it is a slight upgrade from the previous one. The main difference is that the CIY Gas 67 is gasket mounted. For the extra $8, I would definitely recommend paying this. You get a whole bunch of other stuff. It includes a set of screw-in stabilizers, which are better than plate-mounted stabilizers. The board also comes with a PCB sheet and a cord cable. This keyboard definitely allows for more mods. Once you get more invested into the hobby and learn more about modifications you can do to your keyboard, you'll slowly figure out what kind of acoustics and typing experience you prefer. And you'll start learning all the modifications you would apply to that keyboard to achieve those acoustics and experiences. Lastly is the Next Time 75 for $40. I try to keep everything below $50, and these are the three main kits that are really below $50. I wouldn't say this is a huge upgrade from the Gas 67, it's more about the preference of the layout. The Next Time 75 has an exploded 75% layout, which is really popular, and it also has a knob. I'm not sure if it's still in trend, but I'm not sure if the layout is still in trend or people are moving to something new. So yeah. Similar to the Gas 67, the Next Time 75 is also gasket mounted. Allows for USB-C connection. Unlike the Gas 67, it doesn't use screw-in stabilizers, but the provided clear plate-mounted stabilizers are actually really good. This board comes included with more foam compared to the two previous kits, so this allows for more configuration with the different foam, achieving different sound profiles. For this 75% layout, as I mentioned, it was really popular, so there are a whole bunch of other brands that are doing the exact same thing as the Next Time 75. So if you can find something similar at the same price range, just get it, whichever is easiest for you. Some quick recommendations at a little bit of a higher price is the Keychron V series and the Echo ACR series. They both range from $60 to $90. Even though these kits do cost a little more and they can come pre-assembled, the quality of the boards are at least 2 times better than 3 of the kits that I mentioned earlier. Both Echo and Keychron are very reputable in this keyboard scene, and if you have the extra budget, I would recommend going with them. Our next mid-tier mainly focuses on the improvement of the quality of PCB and case. 2 of them are still made from plastic, but it is better plastic. It is ABS injection molded. These boards will have south-facing sockets, support for screw-in stabilizers, and support for QMK and VIA. QMK and VIA is the main keyboard software for all custom keyboards. It's basically like the Razer Synapse or the Logitech G Hub of custom keyboards. It allows for different rebind of keys, your RGB control, so most keyboards use QMK and VIA. For our first board in the mid tier, it's gotta be the KBD 67 Lite. For $109, it is one of my favorite budget boards of all time. It has a huge variety of colors. It is also really popular for the acoustic it is able to produce. Comes with a whole bunch of accessories and a nice carrying case. In this kit, you will basically have everything you need to build the keyboard. Unlike the previous range of keyboards, this does require a little more assembly. You will have to put the case and the PCB together, screw it in from the back, install the stabilizers yourself, but it's still quite simple. In the mid-tier, you will also have options for different layouts between NC and ISO. You will get proper foam or dampening in this kit so that you can configure the foam to your liking. Next up is a board released not too long ago, the M1 by Geek. It has an insane amount of value for $99. It is the exploded 75% layout with a knob, but this time around it is fully spec'd out. Without the need for assembly, you can instantly build in it. Screw-in stabilizers, gasket mounted, all the dampening. This might be the only aluminum kit that is in stock constantly and has an insane value. I did get my hands on one for a giveaway, but the footage got corrupted, so yeah, but the keyboard is good. Last but not least is probably the Tiger 80 Lite. A little pricier, but a little bigger of a keyboard. It is our first TKL keyboard. There are not many budget TKLs out there, but the Tiger 80 Lite does the job for me. The components are really similar to the KVD67 Lite, but the key design feature for the Tiger 80 Lite is the design tape mod. It also comes in a huge variety of colors, produces really nice acoustics, and is really beginner friendly. Some recommendations that are a little bit more pricier compared to the kits I recommended would be the Echo Mod series and the Keychron Q series. These are about $120 to $170, but they are all made from aluminum and has a good reputation for the boards. Lastly is the high tier. This consists of boards from a group buy. Group buys basically mean that these boards are being sold only for a limited amount of time. Last year there were a whole bunch of boards that elevated the keyboard budget group buy scene. The main three companies are Zoom, QWERTY Keys, and Jerry65. I forgot which company is Jerry65 from. These three companies started out with the Zoom 65, QK65, and Jerry65 respectively. They were all really good boards and produced some really nice acoustics, and they are moving forward by releasing different layouts of the same series. They start at around $150 and make their way up to the high 200s based on what changes you are making to the board. I probably wouldn't recommend a complete beginner to go for a GB board. The main concern being the waiting time. You might not be used to how long you have to wait after you purchase the product. You might have to wait up to 6 months, 5 months, 4 months. It really depends on manufacturing times. So if you want a board just quick and you want to receive it by the end of the week or next week, I would recommend going to low or mid tier boards. So yeah, let's move on to some budget switches. We'll start off with the normal switches, the Gateron Basics. Red, yellow, black, brown, blue. These are your everyday switches in mechanical keyboards, linear, tactile, and clickies. With the new Gateron Pro series, the yellows have become one of the most popular budget switches. They cost about $30 for 110 of them, which is way more than you would need for 65 or 75% keyboards. The Gateron switches are the standard basic switches you would know when you first enter the hobby, but I'm gonna introduce some of the more fun switches that you can slowly explore into. So yeah, we're starting off with Echo, the Echo CS. I would consider these switches the gateway switches to dive deeper into the keyboard hobby. They have a huge variety of switches. Personally, I also went from Gateron to Echo when I was first a beginner. They have really good tactiles and linears starting from $10 per box, and each box has 45 pieces. So if you're building a 65% or 75%, you're probably gonna get 2 boxes, so $20. They're constantly improving their switches. They have hand loop switches, but I want to talk more about lubing. Switches in this day and age have improved way more compared to last time. So switches nowadays just don't sound as scratchy or sound as horrible compared to 3 years behind. Depending on the switch, I would consider lubing optional. You can do a little bit more research for that specific switch if lubing causes a huge difference in the acoustics being produced. If it doesn't, then you don't need to lube, man. And I don't have a number 2. Like the Echo CS series is basically the only one that I can find in such a budget range. Alright, budget keycaps. This one is a really sensitive topic. I'm not sure how I'm gonna tackle this either, but let's just start. Keycaps are generally not that cheap in this hobby. The main go-to keycap brand you would go to when you're in this hobby is GMK. And GMK isn't exactly budget. It runs off group buys, it is designed by an artist, and it costs about retail $150 and resale or in stock it's about $300. So we're gonna go back to Echo. They have a huge variety of keycaps. It ranges from about $60 to $80. The quality is really good. They come in both cherry and their very own ASA profile. Something I'm not too keen in their keycap sets is probably their designs. They do quite a high number of themed keycap sets, and that basically caters to a very specific aesthetic. Next up is KBD fans. They have a few different keycap brands in their store. You can go check it out. In their store, you can get some dice up keycaps for about $30. It is extremely limited in range, but that is all we have. PBT fans by KBD fans is definitely one to consider if you have a little bit more space in your budget. It is their own series of keycaps. They run some of them in stock, some of them in group buy, but their group buy runs really fast. It only takes them about 1 or 2 months and they're shipping it out. The designs they're coming up with are really nice and the quality is actually top notch. So if you have a little bit more budget, invest in PBT fans. The final place I would recommend would be Drop. They have their Artifact series. It is not exactly the best quality, but it is $45 and in stock. So if you want something plain and simple and want it fast, then you should go to Drop. And now it is time for me to speak about the taboo of the keyboard market: clones. Clones are basically GMK keycaps but fake. China steals the GMK designed keycaps, print them on PBT keycaps, sell them for $20 to $40. It is extremely common. You can search up budget keycaps and 90% of the keycap sets you are seeing are basically stolen GMK designs. I'm not gonna talk too much about it. It is not exactly the easiest and best thing to talk about and promote. I'm not gonna promote any of these sets, but it exists, so you guys do what you want with that information. And yeah, this is a really short combination of what I know in 2022. And also, none of the companies paid me to sponsor me, to recommend their boards or anything. This is all based off personal experience with the product itself. I have tested most of the products, so yeah. This video only covers about 30% of what I would actually recommend and talk about, but if I included the other 70%, the video would be too long and I wouldn't even watch it. So leave a comment down below for all the different questions you have. I'll try my best to respond to all of them and answer all your questions and recommendations that you would want from me. I would consider this a 2022 beginner budget guide, not a 2023 one. But I will be doing one more at the end of the year, so subscribe to stick along, leave a like, comment your different questions, recommendations you would want. Check out all the links down below. There are affiliate links, so I do earn a little bit of money, but the products are something I have tried and it is something that I trust. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.